Right, hello everyone. It has taken a bit to get here, and I just have some space in between. I keep saying this, but it is true that we are in the most extraordinary times. We're in extraordinary light. We are in increased frequency and acceleration. We are receiving the completion of one set of light codes today that link into the spectrum. We're in a 1010 day today here in New Zealand. It's the 28th of the 1st, 2024. And so all of that adds up to a 10 universal day. And so we're a 10 day, 28, and a 10 universal day. And so it is this completion of this part, but we're in this, Gaia's been using words like burgeoning and blossoming, expansion. We're in expansion in so many ways, and those of you on the leading edge who are no doubt here, hi Carolyn, hi Stacey, hi Charlotte, welcome. Yeah, so it's just really fascinating, the sense of the expansion through the heart, and where the divine masculine are at. And so yeah, I'll just begin. And how are you experiencing these energies? Because they are, well, Gaia's been, I think today we're in the completion of this level of illumination. Thank you, Charlotte. Yeah, so I'm feeling really, I want to say, beautiful in my heart, and I'm feeling, I guess, satiated with this light. It feels so nourishing. I'm aware that we're really on the, well, we're on the climbing the stairs for this ascension. I'm confident that we're close to it. I believe that the scales, they've really tipped. Gaia is saying that the only way now is up, that the majority of the evil darkness has left, and so we are, cleaning up the shelves have been emptied, and we're cleaning up the shelves. But it's really lovely to have you here, and it's just, I've just been in amongst all this noise, and so it's been hard to choose and pick a time where it can work. Anyway, it's in hiatus right now. So yeah, I haven't spoken online since the 23rd. I have definitely done some postings, but I'll just begin. So the 23rd of this month, I was given the words burgeoning and blossoming are the words I was given about the energies on that day, and a soft expansion, Gaia said, will be felt today in the physical. We're really noticing, aren't we, that things are happening in the physical, the change as well. So a friend messaged me and said, have you seen clients this week? And I said yes. And she said, have you noticed a theme? And I said yes. The theme is change. So there's so much change going on in both my clients and their connections. So this is in their family. So people are relocating, they're changing jobs, they're changing house, they're changing cities, they're changing countries. It's all in this really big stage of change. So bigger and wiser is how Gaia described it, as the connection to one's own energetic system is nuanced. So this is us now. We're in the final, the subtle, the nuancing of everything that is going on for us and within our systems as we are being navigated back to our original divine plan blueprints here on the earth and within our own bodies. So this enhanced communication, she is saying, with one's own field, that people will be getting better at reading their field. So some people will be on the beginnings of that and others will be nuancing the finer and subtler details of that. And access, she said, to the codes and information comes online. So this is us in the last week of January having that experience of being able to access what is being activated through our DNA reconnections. There will be a noticeable increase in one's own gifts and access to collective consciousness. So, those of you who are here, I am sure that many of you already do that, but it's like we can do that more comprehensively and we will be getting sort of more accurate, more enabled with it, and others will be beginning to do that. So many will be feeling extreme exhaustion, Gaia says, in the body, sleep patterns profoundly affected as the new physical systems are harmonized. So we're in that experience as well. Another increased need for greater hydration and rest, a pull to more stillness. So have you been feeling that? And yes, Carolyn, exactly the masculine. So she's saying your masculine sun and D and feeling it hard, giving me constant lessons, showing her how far she's come and just letting go and surrendering it all and gets pushed daily with challenges. Surrender, well, surrender is the word that I'm going to use with my forum tomorrow night. Because there's so many aspects of surrender that we're being invited to look at and explore. And we're up against the challenges of that, aren't we? So challenges, Carolyn was saying, keeps her healing and moving the collective forward, feeling empowered though, big communication channels opening. Yeah, well, that's a match. That's a match, Carolyn, with the information from here as well. Thank you. So this pull to more stillness and inner contemplation, and yet a disconnect from the mind. So this is the general movement of all of us, is that we're becoming more connected with our energetic systems, with our heart, with the frequency, the vibration, the resonance, the communication, as our disconnect from the mind and the old patterns and chatter are dissolving. So are you noticing that? Are you noticing that there's less of this going on in the mind, that when you tune in there's a greater stillness, a greater leveling, there's more room to investigate? Avoid reaching for replacement of thoughts is the advice. Relax in the nothingness of the field as the switch over to the new continues. So you can think about unplugging from the old systems and beginning to plug in to the new. Become settled in the nothingness. Allow yourself to sit deeply in your own expanded heart. And then this light. So on the 25th, I got this light has a new quality today, bringing greater clarity and access to higher codes, a further acceleration to the reformation of DNA strands. Psychic gifts awaken rapidly as internal connections open up and expand, and the consciousness on the planet is now evident from afar as pulsation, lightning, and enlivening can be observed. So I was shown that from being off planet, that there's a definite shift in the pulsation of the planet and the number of lights, the sparkling of lights. That was what pulled me to choose that post the photograph on the post that I made, whatever that one was. Maybe I can quickly find it. No, I have to look somewhere else. Gaia is, hold on. This. More of humanity is beginning to stretch and awaken, to open their eyes and see differently, bringing qualities and feelings of peace to the heart. Lightworkers can take some respite as the evolution of the people of Earth takes on its own momentum. So that's a really lovely bit of information to receive. When I tuned in and visited Gaia on the 25th, she was juggling with stars of gold and silver light, and that was in the morning. Arches of these are forming over her head, the masculine and feminine qualities. So feel into that, because we're really in that at the minute. The masculine and feminine qualities being brought intentionally into greater balance in the quanta. The benefits of this will be seen as the land continues renewal and humanity begins to soften its feminine qualities, bringing greater balance for all. There will be greater balance in many aspects and stratas of earth and nature again this year. Many people on their personal sojourn to home here to south, locally and across borders, as hearts lead people home to self, and what is represented as home for each. So that will there are people being pulled to where they're meant to be. It's already begun. You will probably know people who have already moved out of your circle or away from you or closer to you or in your family. Values will shift greatly this year for humanity as inner contemplation and the need for desires of the heart will begin to lead the way. The material will diminish. So that's the material world, the desire for the material things, that's going to diminish. We'll watch that diminish quite quickly during this year. The intrinsic, the internal, will take on greater value in the quality of relationships on all levels. All of this will be a key influence in the shaping of social change. So some quite sort of big, I guess, overview statements came in during this time as well. Oh yeah, so it was on that day. So it was so noisy here I couldn't possibly do a video, but that was that day that those songs came in. Reach out and touch. I posted those on the channel, but it's that reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make the world a better place if you can. And then there was the sounds of silence came, and I posted the lyrics to that and a link. And then this, he's a New Zealand Māori guy, but he lives in Australia, Stan Walker, and I posted his I Am song, which is so, when you listen to that and you feel it, it's so powerful. And what came through is there is much love here. Take care of your heart. Find moments of peace each day and observe the changes in nature. Yeah, Gaia, we can only go up now. There is nothing that sends us in another direction. Each of us are a fractal. You'll remember that. Oh, actually, I will just find that. Hold on. Hopefully, I can do that without any disruption to you. So each of us is a, I did put that on a word sheet anyway, that's okay. Each of us is a fractal of the greater whole, and then each of us as that fractal is behaving and doing, carrying out an aspect of purification, of release, and then of receipt and activation of the higher encoding and gifting. In so doing, each fractal impacts the whole, and I'm shown this is the way in which ascension is being accelerated. So that to me was very exciting. So we are in this theme of clarity and authenticity, of truth. And this is what is really driving, if you like, the masculine awakening, is that they are coming into this greater truth and clarity in their hearts. And the hearts are giving them those thoughts, those images, those feelings, those pulls to their own inner truth, where their love lies. And it's really shifting what's important to them. They are trying to figure it out. They're in this spectrum, if you like. The overview spectrum for the divine masculine is everywhere from the undoing of the old and what is current right now for them in their lives into planning for the next. But yeah, there's a spectrum of that. And so this DMs and DFs, they're both coming into completion. So this recognition of the healing that's still required to be done, coming into balance, coming into wholeness and rising up, and then being in the heart. So that's the kind of general overview of that. And most have a knowing of this frequency, of this love, of this connection, and a knowing that it's in and held in divine timing. And so the divine masculine showed up collectively yesterday or the day before as all sitting on like the equivalent of a cushion that vibrates, but it's vibrating very strongly. They're on this big grassy hill, they're sitting on this cushion, cross-legged, and that cushion is vibrating. It's shaking them to the bones. It's bringing up what needs to be released and attended to, so then they can stand up and move forward. And so many of them are in this position of recognizing more of who they are, this idea that they are seeing now that they have to undo these particular things and step into their worthiness. So I was showing like the knight with the sword and the shield and the wings. That's the imagery I was showing this morning of the divine masculine. They are coming into that. They are rising up into that so they can come forward. And they are in the, I want to use the word elegant, they are in the elegant undoing. But this elegance carries with it this beauty and this great integrity. But they are in the strong knowing of where they are meant to be, who they're meant to be with, what they are meant to be doing. Their purpose is becoming more obvious. That what is in their lives is bringing a great sense of dissatisfaction and disconnection. So it's as though that sort of started to move away on its own. It's come into greater recognition for them. They are seeing what is the downfall of that and the merits of what is sitting in front of them. And so they are also aware that they need to feel this worthiness. And so that was interesting to me because that's been coming through the masculine stepping into their own divine nature, their own worthiness, to recognize that they are worthy of this connection, that they can and are beginning to feel that deeply in their hearts, and that their purpose and mission is having greater clarity. And so they will step into that to a certain extent, and then when they front up, they are more in their empowerment and in their higher frequency. So I feel they will have a frequency or dimensional shift to a higher strata, and then they will come in. Notes from the 26th. Let this energy flow through you in all ways. Be soft and deliberate with your breath, bringing balance and harmony to your chakras and energy fields. Feel into nature as it too embodies these qualities of greater balance and harmony. Hi, Anna. Welcome. Breathe into the center of each of your chakra areas and take note of the feelings and sensations that arise, and breathe love into each of those, and then sit in presence with yourself of your own energies in those physical sensations and emotional arisings. So it's this very delicate, deliberate focus on yourself, on watching what comes up when you sit in great presence in this energy. Allow the light of the full moon, which of course is a couple of days ago now, and the activations of this sun to spread through you. So be in deliberate and intentional exchange with the energies from the moon and the energies from the sun as they come in, to really be physically infused in our physical body and our energetic body, but very much in the physical cellular manner. Allow that light to spread through you. Feel it. You can feel it as tingling, as pinging, as singing, as frequency, as sound, to illuminate and to activate and transform. And this came as a little bit of kind of poetic language. Be as the Buddha, still and centered, a quiet study of your inner self, swelling and expanding your consciousness with each breath. And on that day also, light streaming from the center, from the core of the earth outwards to the surface of the planet, and from the sun and moon and the galaxy through to the atmospheric layers of the planet. And all of this is working for us, not to us, for us, to release the old density and assist Earth and humanity in its transition to to higher density. Your part is to do your own personal version of this, your own healing, balancing, and transmutation, to release what is old and no longer serves, to do your healing, to be a conduit for this higher light frequency. And I've got a little exercise for us to do shortly, to allow it to catalyze and recode your systems. That is what we are in the receipt of, so that you can sit in balance, in wholeness, in sovereignty, radiating out this higher frequency through your energetic field, enabling this to touch and impact others. So it's a very strong, tangible, physical, sensational experience that we can be having with this energy, with these codes, and then you can emit those out so that others around you can receive them, as being, in your sort of energetic midst, or as you're moving through groups of people, perhaps when you're out in the community. But you can do this, emit it from your own house and space. Be led by your heart, by what feels good and right and fills you up and turns you on, makes you smile and feel blissful and radiant and connected to the source of all that you are. I want to read this paragraph that came as part of my personal commentary about my beloved. He also knows he needs to leave the table at which he has sat, with no leftover scraps or dirty dishes, and is an incompletion of clearing that table now, as well as seeing those who share the table out the door. A gentle, loving gratitude as they exit. So that I thought was a nice little sort of segue about where they're at. So we're in these increased energetics for heart expansion, upliftment, and joy. And the spinal flow of these 12 strands of DNA reconnecting continues, which is why many of you may be feeling that in your lower spine. I'll keep reading, and then I rather than butt in on my own words. Many are feeling affected in the heart space and the throat, related to clearing and enabling speaking out with truth and clarity, expressing feelings of love, The bottom of the spine and the lower back may be under pressure, creating pain. There's a triangular shape showing up across the back and the hips, and a diamond shape showing up in the rear aspect of the field that comes in close to the skull at the top and across sort of down the back here to the edges of the shoulders, and then down into the rear aspect of the heart chakra, excuse me. That may be creating energetic pressure as well. Hi, sweet CC from San Diego. Yeah, really intense moon, hey? And, oh, Saskatchewan, Canada. Hi, Denise. Welcome. So lovely to have you all here with this short notice. Yeah, so this, this pressure, it's been coming in the field, but now we are feeling it in our flesh and in our blood and in our bones. Yeah, so the Divine Masculine Collective on a grassy hill showed up yesterday or the day before. The DM's on an energetic cushion that's shaking them up to their inner core. They are glowing up. They are heating up. Oh, sorry. No, that's you. Many of you heating up in your inner core, glowing up and heating up in your central core inside of your physical vessel. And in Gaia, this greater rhythmic energy from the inner core with a greater pulsation that can be seen from off planet. The energies are accelerated. Everything is really super speedy. And then today I want to ask you this. Can you feel the blessings of the expanded energy of the heart? This golden light that emanates in its various strata has multiple impacts and powers to heal and transform and transcend to a point of illumination, of ascension. And I can really feel I would say the beauty and the truth and the purity of that in my system. At time, others' lights and colours are interwoven and interspersed of late into this golden light, especially pink, blue, violet, green, and orange through the magenta wave, the emerald wave, and the apricot or peach wave. So bring in those colours. There's also been quite a lot of what I would call the first wave, the way it's the blue wave. It's the not here sapphire. It's the sapphire energy because we're really in the what would you call it? The seesaw effect of thy will versus my will, our own will versus God's will. That's the first wave. That's the first ray is the blue ray. To me, it's overseen by grandmother Anna and Archangel Michael and who is it? The Ascended Master, the Kohan of the First Ray. It escapes me. Anyway, I will find it and put it in the chat later. Or it will come to me. But with the archangels of the first ray are Archangel Michael and Lady Faith, and they're working with this blue sapphire ray, which I believe Grandmother Anna works with in one capacity. And then the Ascended Master, I can see him, his name escapes me. Right, I won't spend any more time trying to find that. I'll get it later. But this is what we are in. This is especially the masculine aspect of all of us. It's this dialogue between the head and the heart. And the heart is winning. The heart is taking precedence. It's not that the head is forgotten. It's that the power of the head to lead the way is now being subservient to the power of the heart. So this pillar of light, build your own torus, your own toroidal field. The pillar of light comes through the central vertical column in relation to the toroidal field. There's a lot of ways we can energetically read our systems now. But see this flow as both up and down, and bring in the colors. So you bring in the gold, it all is infused into the gold. So you can bring in that sapphire blue into the gold. You're having it moving down through and up through as well. So it's going up into the heavens and it's going down into the earth. And you are one of the toroidal fields that are being an intersection, if you like, for that. And then there's one that is being done by the planet. So your heart, your body, and the planetary toroidal fields are, I want to say, subsuming these lights, but it all is infused in the gold. And so there's this pink, this blue, this violet, and this emerald green, and in lots of variant shades. So allow those colours, feel those colours coming in through your central vertical core, infused within the gold, coming into your heart, and then having a torus experience in the heart, and then going down into the earth, having a torus experience in the inner earth, and then coming into the outer earth, and then coming back up through you and infused again through your heart torus, and then out the top of your head and into the heavenly realms. Yeah, so you can do that one at a time. You can do it one colour at a time. You can sprinkle it in. It's like on the 1st of January, we were sprinkling in the equivalent of glitter. And now it's these streams of light. Yeah, so today there is this completion of the colour infusion for the planet. So it's good to be working in tandem with that in a deliberate manner. Bring in this last layer of this completion anyway, or this, let's call it another layer of completion. Bring focus to your digestive area as you digest the newer and higher frequency. So put one hand on your belly. You might want to do that now. One hand on your belly and one hand on your lower back at the rear. Bring reassurance to your body through your hands, and inviting your hands to release these warm and soothing emissions. Rock your pelvis back and forth gently. And close your eyes and just take a few breaths as you're doing that, and feeling that movement up through your vertical core, through the spinal fluid, through that lower part especially, from the tailbone up through the first half a dozen vertebrae. And be rocking it back and forwards, get it to move so that it's warming, moving, undulating, being absorbed. And now place both hands on your heart. Feel the expansion there. And for some of you, you may be feeling further wing development through the collarbones, through the spine, and through the shoulder blades. So just be aware of that. Today there's been a lot of fine vibration in my rear, if you like, in the back of me. So, I started to feel that yesterday, that triangulation in the back, and then that diamond shape in the back, and that showed up again today, but it's kind of finer. And I got given the word embodiment. So we're in like the finer nuances. Well, then, another level of embodiment, further levels, Gaia said, of integration of our higher being energetics and ascension codes. And you're asked to do this because it's time for us to re-engage in our creative endeavors, in creative flow. So ask yourself, what does your creative self call you to do? What came through was work in a deliberate and focused way with creativity. Sounds like an oxymoron, but to kind of focus your energy or intuition to your inner self, your inner being, and ask for guidance on a creative method or process or project at this time to get into this deeper movement of energetic flow. And examples given were a stick on the sand at the beach, pastels on paper, so oil pastels on paper, glue and glitter, brush and paint, pen and ink, wet paper and graphite pencil. So any of those, and you will maybe be able to think of others, but I know that came because you needed to hear that you can do this with a whole range of materials. So it's about whatever materials you've got, but it's about allowing your creative flow to come into that project. It doesn't have to have an end focus. It's about the process. These, so these links flow out of my pen to you. Be in your own internal energies and focus there. Observe your growth, your greatness, your statue as you clear and become more of yourself, your light, your gifts, your talents, your mission and purpose. Allow these to move and merge and blend and be in process with the flow, not caught in the end outcome. And then if you are aware, in New Zealand, we have an indigenous language that is Māori. And so Gaia, I'll just tell you, Gaia is calling. The karanga is out. So that's the Māori word for a calling. It comes out as a song, as a chant. It's generally called by a woman. The karanga has to be called for the proceedings to begin, for the visitors to enter the marae. So when people talk about Māori being sexist in terms of lack of gender equity, that's always the answer in my view, is that the men cannot speak until the women have given permission. So if the woman refuses to karanga, the men cannot even enter the grounds. So I think that's a nice balance. And then, and even though we have women who speak now, but in the sort of older archetype of it, the men would speak and the women would karanga, would waiata or sing in support. So, it went hand in hand. But these are the words that came. The karanga is out. Haere mai ki te pō. So haere mai means come or welcome, and pō is the night or the shadow. Haere mai ki te pō. Haere mai ki te au, that's the light or the dawn. Haere mai ki te maunga, that's the mountaintop, or it's the mountain, but it was the pinnacle of the mountain that I was seeing. Haere mai ki te whenua, that's the land. Haere mai ki te papatua nuku, and that's the Māori name for earth, for mother. Come home. Come home to yourself. Come home to your own illumination, to the whakamārama. The tribes are gathering. We know we've spoken of this before, but this came again today. Your feel and your field, or your feelings and your field will respond to the calling of your heart. Let that be your guide. We are each impacting ascension and collective consciousness. And so those are the notes that I bring to you today. To me, I feel excited. I feel like we're in the edges of swimming in this new stream. We're getting used to it. We're embodying it. We're embedding it to the extent that we're becoming familiar enough with it that we can send it out. It's bringing us into our higher ascended positioning and space. Our codes are being activated. We will become more enlivened and enlightened along with our planetary body, and begin to be emitting that out, affecting those around us and calling ourselves and others home. And it has a lot of emotion to me when I speak that out to you. So I wish you well on this beautiful day in the experience of those codes and colours and essences, and the knowing that we are shifting and the knowing that we are gathering. And I certainly, that has been my experience this week in the physical, that there have been messages that have come that have indicated the divine masculine physically turning up, and that people are changing jobs, they're changing countries, they're moving cities, they're moving houses, relationships are breaking up and selling homes so they can go their separate way. It's being done with integrity, with love, with light and recognition that it's for the highest for all. Our children are coming into their own, the children of our world, those starry lit beings who've come here to bring in the new as we make safe passage for them. Yeah. So much love to you. Thank you for joining me here, and I'll see you again soon. I'll just have a look here. The tuna that was jumping streams of consciousness, Sweet Cece's saying in the braided rivers, like on the bridge outside Christchurch. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, so all of the species on the planet are having their upgrades. We are all going through this at the same time. And so it's just interesting to me that we've now completed this one sort of round of this, bringing in this spectrum or layers of colour that's higher consciousness in readiness to go to the next level. I believe that we are going to have our ascension moment, that we're poised on the edge of it, and that it's just a matter of coming into the toppling, if you like, into the tipping point. And I believe that it's all happening really, really quickly, that this could happen. The 30th stands out to me as an opportunity for that. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it stands out. And I believe that we will have done that by the end of April of this year. And so do your work. I don't say that with a whip in my hand, but I encourage you, because it's about each of us doing our own work, and that impacts what is around us, and that impacts the collective consciousness. And that goes back to that whole idea about we are working with a fractal, and when we have that fractal cleared and in higher consciousness and vibrating and resonating at that higher, it vibrates out to impact the collective. And so this is the call out to do that. Yeah, Sweet Cece's just sharing a trip to an island here in New Zealand where she was invited to a sacred place through a woman calling, doing the karanga. Yeah. All right, my beautiful friends and sisters and brothers. Thank you, and enjoy this light. Close your eyes and notice the streaming of it in your body and in the core of the earth, and call yourself home to yourself. Okay. Thank you so much. Much love.